Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm doing the second half of my What Sold, which will be for last weekend, November 1st through the 3rd. And my sales were okay. They were average. Average for normal rest of the year, but really still not fourth quarter average. But you know what? At this point, I'm okay with average because I've had some days that were so pitiful. Um, but overall, it's going fine. All right, let me go ahead and get this started. Had two sales on Etsy, yay. Nothing on the other two platforms. Y'all, we all know eBay is my primary platform. I do use List Perfectly to cross list to the other platforms, but there's no competition. There's no competition. Now, some of you may be doing really well on some of the other platforms, but for me, it has been blah. Just absolutely blah. But I'll keep doing it because I do make some sales. But a lot of my focus is on eBay because they have been tried and true for me for 25 years. And I've been at this for a really, really long time. So here's my two sales on Etsy. This first one was a Mattel Bedtime Barbie. They have this cloth body from 1976, and she sold for $12.95. And then this Christmas nylon stocking. It was like a May department store exclusive, and it sold for $21.95. And then eBay. Nothing has free shipping on it, so when I say something sold for $8, that's what it sold for plus shipping. This first item is Cuddle Wit. That is a vintage brand I love to pick up. This was a little 7-inch white dog, and it sold for $8.05. Still hanging on with the bread and butters. All right, Ryder's jeans, y'all. Ryder's jeans. We have been picking up less of the Ryder's jeans. They just take a while to sell. There's probably some exceptions, but for the most part, like this one took over 2 years to sell, but it sold for $12. Francoma pottery. I don't know if this is my last piece. I might have one more, but couple of years ago, Robert and RJ went to an estate sale on the last day, and it was fill a box for $5. And they gave you these little square boxes, and Robert packed them with Francoma pottery, and I've done very well with it. Like I said, down to the last few pieces, which means they're probably not highly desirable as far as these particular ones, but it did finally sell for an offer of $10. All right, Avon brown wicker turkey Thanksgiving basket. It had these little wooden eggs in it. I just decided to leave it all together. Probably paid a couple dollars at an estate sale, and it sold for $18.85. All right, a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Ronnie. Ronnie bought this White Mountain, my favorite puzzle, other than the Liberty ones now, but that will probably not be something I'll find again. But we do a lot of White Mountain puzzles. This was called Santa's Big Night. We put all of our puzzles together. Y'all, if you're the type that thinks you can count puzzle pieces and show that it's complete, it doesn't work that way. This is a 1,000-piece puzzle, but it could have had 996 or it could have had 1,010. It's just a rounded number. So we put all of our puzzles together, unless they're sealed, of course. And this one sold for $10.49. All right, Mickey Mouse scrub top sold for $11.89. I pick them up if they're like characters or seasonal and really cheap, because a lot of times they do take a while to sell for me. And this one sold for $11.89. All right, I picked up 2 sets of these at a yard sale. I don't remember how much I paid. I want to say $3 or $5. Realized that it was actually 2 sets. Each set had these 4 characters on it. And the first set sold for $32. They sent me a message when they purchased this saying she had just accidentally broke one of her daughter's plates, so she was buying a replacement set. So, you know, it happens, and then they come to eBay looking for replacements. All right, American Eagle. We pick up lots of American Eagle. These were black jeans, and they sold for $17. Jimco, the micro kettle teapot, picked up at an estate sale, probably for 50 cents or $1, and it sold very quickly for $11. Pier 1 Imports coffee cup sold for $11.66. I pick up lots of coffee mugs. Usually they're like a quarter or 50 cents. All right, Fiesta, not a great brand, kind of like quality as far as Kelly Toy, but a lot of times I still will pick it up based on what it is. This was a cute little pink owl, probably was a Ben's pickup, and it sold for $8.96. I'm pretty sure these were just included in a box lot of pots and pans that we had picked up. The bottoms may have just been not in great condition. I don't remember. I listed these back in June, probably from just shelves of my profit stuff. And these 4 lids to Revereware sold for $35.95. So I think it's something I might start watching, because like a lot of the thrift stores around here have totes that are just lids. You know, it could be the glass lids or just other pots and pan lids. But I might start looking to see if I can figure out, you know, some of the ones that might be worth picking up. All right, this is a hand puppet from Scott Forsman, which is like a school curriculum. His name was Alpha Buddy, and he sold for $11.66. Another American Eagle women's jeans, size 00, y'all. Just because they're the little size clothing doesn't mean they're not going to sell. These were listed less than a month, and they sold for $20. Dan's Heritage Gray Hippo Plush sold for $10. It was a really old listing, so glad to see it gone. More replacement pieces to small appliances. These were Presto Salad Shooter slicers, and they sold for $19.95. I didn't even know this thing had sold, because a lot of the breakables and just a lot of the things that we ship, Robert does most of the shipping. I'll help when we have big days that require lots of shipping. But a lot of times I don't realize things have sold. I'm really glad to see that this sold. It is an iridescent dragon pagoda trinket dish, candy dish, covered. Sold for $31.45, but it took a long time. K&M International, little cute white tiger cub, sold for $8.05. What that is I've listed for $9.95, put it on a 10% sale, and then sent probably a 10 or so percent offer. All right, Wrangler. Y'all, there's certain Wranglers to definitely be looking for. These were called Q Baby. These women's jeans sold for $19.99. And again, very quickly. Applause Hush Puppies dog. This must have been probably a Ben's pickup, but it took forever to sell. I do continue to pick them up. There are collectors out there that try to make sets up of these different Hush Puppy dogs. And this one finally sold for $8.05. Now, I think this was from our stuff. It sat in one of my totes for a very long time, but I'm pretty sure this was from one of my babies. So that's how long I've had it. It is a thermal weave baby blanket. A lot of them just have that number on it. WPL, this one was $16.75. I've seen other ones with different numbers. And it sold for $26.95. Russ German Shepherd Dog Plush sold for $15.25. Easel Women's like patchwork long sleeve shirt sold for $14. And y'all, it sold instantly. I listed it and sold it probably within a day or two. Robert doesn't look for women's shirts very often, so when we go to a thrift store, he automatically goes to the jeans after I've looked around to see if there's anything, you know, toy related or collectible. I usually will go to the women's dresses and the women's tops, and that's, you know, just how we do things. This is a Folk Menace Gray Squirrel hand puppet. Again, just listed it, and it sold at the full price, $14.95. All right, this is from that wonderful food processor that we picked up. I think this is the one we picked up at a church for 20 bucks. It is by Braun. We seriously regret selling this. We should have kept it for ourselves because we are needing a food processor that's strong. And once we started doing some research, Braun was the one that was highly, highly recommended. But we sold it. I'm down to just the last few like replacement parts. And this little wire slicer sold for $20. I've mentioned this in the past that eBay has changed my prices. And I finally caught it on video. Well, I recorded it after the fact, but I was able to show that what I was listing and what ended up on the preview screen were two different prices. Now, just to explain, I use my own listings to do sell similar. So the other day, I had a listing that I had listed the item for $16.95. And I've learned in the last week or two to always preview my listing before I hit list, and I finally caught it. I had this listing that I had just done, and I was getting ready to list something for $19.95. I went all the way through my listing. You'll see in the video the price was set at $19.95, but when I went down to preview the listing, eBay had changed it back to the $16.95 from the previous listing.
But that you were doing sell similar from.
Right, that I was doing sell similar from. And I'm guessing this would also happen if you use somebody else's listing. You find an item just like yours and you do sell similar. If you are trying to change that price, it might revert back. And if you're not paying attention, it won't be the price that you thought. And I mean, I had this happen on some Disney dog lot plush that I was listing. I wanted to list it for $129.95, something like that. I didn't catch the fact that when I hit list, it only listed for $19.95, whatever it was that I had listed before's price. And I didn't notice it for a couple of hours until it showed up on my make offers list, and I realized, holy heck, it's $19.95. And so I quickly changed the price to the $129.95 or whatever it was, and they did eventually sell. So it wasn't a fact that they weren't worth what I was listing. They sold for that amount. I'm just lucky that nobody sold it, but I'd have had a fit if they had sold at that price.
You'd have had two fits if I was doing offers back then and I saw, oh, somebody looked at this. She's got it for $20. It's recent. Let me just tap a 10% off. We'll send them an 18%. We'll send them an $18 offer. You'd have been mad. You'd have been mad again. I might have been sleeping on somebody else's couch and not just ours.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder how many of those, before I started checking the preview button, every single listing, how many of my things are listed right now? Either up or down from what I actually thought it should be listed for or what I attempted to list it for, but eBay changed the price on me. So I'm going to contact eBay this week and submit the proof, because I've talked to eBay for Business before, and they said, well, you need to get a screen recording of what's happening. So, it's taken me a while, because every time I would list for, the morning, recording everything, and it wouldn't happen. And then, I just kind of hadn't been doing it. And then the other, like 2 weeks ago, I decided I'm going to hit the preview, and then I finally caught one.
It's been important, but not high priority.
Right.
So you
Yes.
haven't just focused on getting that done.
And I see people making posts on Facebook that things are selling for prices that they did not list it for. And I have a feeling a part of that is that eBay's changing prices back to whatever it is that they, were doing sell similar from. So be careful, and I'll let you guys know how this all pans out with eBay, and if they're going to actually admit that it's an issue that needs to be addressed.
So what we're going to see now is I'm going to show the video that we recorded.
All right, some more of the Christmas ornaments. I picked up a box lot of these older glass ornaments. I want to say I paid $10 at a churchyard sale, and they sold for $17.95. This one. All right, been listed forever. Glad to see it gone. Not all nativity sets are worth picking up. This one was by Kirkland, and I finally got it sold for 20 bucks. Groovy Girls, I will pick them up if they're very clean, but for the most part, I don't. This one, was cute, Christmas related, and it did sell at a decent price, $17.95. Build-A-Bear, I just listed this also. I just called them fancy dresses. I didn't know what else to really call them. But these two little outfits with a pair of panties, which I don't think really went with it, sold for $13.45. I picked up a bunch of Build-A-Bear. It was in one of my recent hauls. All right, these are called Couch Potato Plush. I want to say I picked these up maybe at our Connecticut trip. Maybe. I don't remember. But I remember picking them up, I'm pretty sure, at a Goodwill Bins. So, could have been St. Louis maybe, but I'm pretty sure it was Connecticut. They're supposed to have like a seat of some type. I don't remember. I think when I went to that private pick estate sale one time, I did find one with all of its parts. It's either a seat or a sack. Maybe it's a sack they're supposed to be in. Maybe both. Oh wait, I put in my description they're missing their sacks. So it was a sack. Just went round in a circle. They are from 1997, Coleco. Coleco is also the one that does a lot of the Cabbage Patch dolls. And they sold for $22.45. All right, Express men's jeans sold for $16. All right, this is Abercrombie and Fitch high-rise jeans, sold for $18. I contemplated cutting off all those strings, but it just seemed like maybe it was part of it, so I left it. If not, somebody else can cut them off. Pottery Barn Harvest Leaves pitcher, sold for $16. I need to stay away from pitchers. They are hard to sell unless you've got like everything that goes with them, cups and stuff. But in general, a lot of the Pottery Barn doesn't sell very well for me anyway. All right, I picked this up at an estate sale. It was a box lot of like stuff that they had used in their ceramic mold business. I just grabbed quite a few of these music boxes, tested all of them, even though I only had 4 of the little wind-up keys for it. And they still sold very quickly for $38. All right, this was actually sealed when I bought it. I remember paying $1 for it, but it was a Revere Ware measuring cup. Just looks like one of the little pans, but it's actually a measuring cup. I did open it. I'm not ever going to trust a sealed box, especially when it's vintage, because who knows if somebody else had that kind of paper tape or whatever and just sealed a box with garbage in it. I don't know, but I personally open up most sealed boxes, and it sold for $17.95. Fisher Price Loving Family. This was just random pieces I threw together. It was a grill with a chair. Probably was a Ben's pickup, and that's all that was in that lot of stuff that I picked up. Sometimes I'll end them and add stuff to them, but I guess at some point I hadn't picked up anything else. But they ended up selling for $14.95. All right, and then Stuffed Animal House. That's actually the brand. Moose Plush from 2018. Bread and butter, $8.05. And then my 2 best sales of last weekend were this Big Jim action figure accessories lot. I think I paid $10 for a large lot. There were other things that I ended up lotting up separately, but this was Big Jim and some of the accessories, and it sold for $50. And then y'all gotta look for this plush. It is from Kohl's Cares. It is Click Clack Moo. I think it's one of the highest priced Kohl's Cares plush to be looking for. I think there's another character. Can't remember what it was, but I just know anytime you see a cow and it's Kohl's Cares, definitely check to see if it is the Click Clack Moo. And it sold for my full price of $59.95. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it's given you some ideas. I really hope all of you guys are starting to see an increase in sales. Mine yesterday was good, but before that it was still mediocre. So I'm hoping we're going to start seeing an upward trend for all of us. You know, I'm going to say this every single time at this point. Do the things that you can do. You know, end and sell similar, run sales, send offers, take offers. Y'all, sometimes, you know, you might have something listed and you want this amount for it. And if it's a couple of dollars, is it really worth waiting any longer? Just get it sold. Take that money, go invest in some other stuff. Pay a bill, whatever it is you need to do with that money. But sometimes it's just worth taking an offer that's a little bit less than what you expected. But like with us, I need to get the old stuff gone, so we're taking some hefty discounts. Because if it's not sold in a few years, it just needs to go. It needs to go. All right, y'all, get to work. Bye.